Your bubbly might be bathing your teeth in acid and dosing you with PFAS at the same time. Every brand tested had a pH below 5.5, and several popular cans clocked in around 4 or lower. Meanwhile, PFAS levels swing wildly between labels that look nearly identical on shelf. Here's the truth. I'll map the brands that tested near 0 parts per trillion versus those above 1 part per trillion, show which flavors skew more acidic, and give you simple habits, like how you sip, to protect your enamel in your body. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. You think 2 cans on the same shelf are twins? Same fizz, same lime, same clean look. But hidden PFAS levels can be miles apart, and the label won't warn you. PFAS are forever chemicals. In plain terms, they're man-made compounds that resist heat and oil and water. They don't break down fast, they linger in your body for years, and they don't show up on flavor labels or front-of-pack claims. Here's the kicker. The can looks pure, the brand sounds natural, but testing shows a split you can't see. Some products land near 0 parts per trillion. Others cross 1 ppt and keep going. On shelf, they look equal. In the lab, they're not. Think about your last shop. You grab your usual case because it's on sale. Same bubbles, same lime note. One brand tested around 0. Another hit multiple ppt. The price tag didn't tell you. The can itself didn't tell you. Your body still keeps the tab. Consumer Reports testing from 2020 mapped the spread. They grouped brands under 1 part per trillion versus over 1 part per trillion. Big gap, wide range, and most labels stayed quiet about PFAS. That map showed how source water and filtration decide your exposure far more than taglines or sleek design. Why it matters. PFAS can strain your liver, dull vaccine response, and meddle with hormones. Over time, small sips add up like a slow drip into a bucket. You don't feel it day one, but long, steady intake raises the load in your blood and your organs. Let's name names from that testing. Near 0 options included Sound, Waterloo, Mountain Valley, Crowdsource, Nixie, and Ora Bora. Spindrift was also low, and San Pellegrino sat under 1 part per trillion. When you make your own with a carbonator and reverse osmosis filtered water, you can land at 0 because you control the source and the filter. On the higher side, several everyday picks cleared 1 ppt. Perrier went over, La Croix went over, Canada Dry, Poland Spring, and bubbly landed above that line. Polar climbed higher still, and one brand stood out as the outlier. Here's the truth. Levels vary with the spring, the municipal feed, and the filters brands use. They don't track with green leaves on a can or words like pure. The risk is the mismatch between marketing and measurable chemicals. You see natural. Your blood sees the sum of what's in the water. Health isn't just about a single can, it's the pattern. PFAS exposure links to higher cholesterol and blood pressure, and some studies tie it to certain cancers after long exposure. Immune effects matter for seniors and anyone who needs vaccines to stick. Hormone hits can shift weight and metabolism. None of that is on the label next to lime essence. So what's the payoff you can use today? Which brand was nearly 10 times higher than tight safety goals? Topo Chico at about 9.76 ppt in the cited testing. Now you know the outlier, and you know the safer set that clustered near 0, plus the DIY route with RO water that cuts the guesswork. If you want control, look for brands that tested near 0 parts per trillion, or make your own with RO and a home carbonator. That trims your exposure without giving up fizz. It's like taking the steering wheel back from a driver you don't trust. Want the truth about what's really safe? Subscribe now so you won't get fooled. Next up, there's another thing the label skips. The acid load that eats at your enamel even when sugar reads 0. That softening doesn't shout. It happens sip by sip, and the pH is rarely where you think it is. Your can says 0 sugar. Your teeth still pay the price. The threat isn't sweet, it's acid. Most sparkling waters drop below the 5.5 pH line, where enamel starts to soften. Add flavor, and the pH slides even lower. Carbonation forms carbonic acid, and flavor acids stack on top. The label stays quiet while the surface of your teeth takes the hit. You switch from soda to seltzer to clean things up. But tests show all the popular cans checked were acidic, and some came close to soda territory. That's the twist. You think no sugar means no harm. Yet acidity, not sugar, sets the stage for erosion. It works like sandpaper in liquid form. Each sip is tiny where you don't feel in the moment. Here's the CBC marketplace angle that matters for you in Canada. Lab checks found big spreads. Grapefruit flavors clocked in around the mid-3s. Many options fell below 5. A classic mineral water sat in the mid-5s, still under the 5.5 enamel line. Translation: even the clean mineral bottle lives on the wrong side of safe for enamel when you keep sipping. Why it matters comes down to time on teeth. Acid softens enamel, so it's easier to wear away. Slow sipping keeps your mouth in the danger zone longer. Saliva can buffer acid, but only when you give it time. That's tougher for seniors and anyone with dry mouth. Less saliva means slower recovery, more minutes with softened enamel, and a bigger chance of lasting damage. You want fixes you can use today. Drink sparkling water with meals, not all day long. Finish the can rather than nursing it for hours. Use a straw to root past your front teeth and cut contact time. Rinse with plain water right after you finish. Then wait 30 minutes before you brush so you don't scrub softened enamel. Small moves, real protection. Let's make the numbers real. CBC Marketplace reported bubbly grapefruit at about 3.86 pH. That sits deep in the acidic zone. La Croix's grapefruit flavor landed near the low 4s at about 4.71. Perrier's natural sparkling mineral water hit around 5.46. Less sour than the flavored cans, yet still below the enamel threshold. Different cans, different acid load, same hidden risk when you sip slow. Here's the kicker. None of this shows up on the label. You get zero sugar, some natural flavors, and a vibe. pH isn't listed. A flavor that seems light and clean can wear harder on enamel than you expect, while an unflavored or mineral-leaning option may be kinder, just not neutral. Without the number, you're flying blind. So which flavors skew more acidic? Citrus and berry tend to tip lower. Think grapefruit, lemon, lime, cherry. Unflavored and mineral-leaning options trend a bit higher on pH, yet they still sit under 5.5. That means every can has some erosive punch. Your habits decide how much of that punch lands. Here's the truth. You can keep the fizz and cut the harm. Pair it with food to shorten contact time, favor unflavored or less tart profiles when you drink between meals, and rotate in still water. If you crave flavor, keep it to a window, not a day-long drip. It's the difference between a short rain and a slow leak through your ceiling.